And I just realized I'm muted. Whoops. Anyway, hey everyone, Wonderbot here, and welcome back to Cavern Kings. That was dumb. I muted my microphone so people would stop complaining at me for clackety-clacks. Unfortunately, I'm also a numbskull when it comes to unmuting my microphone, because I totally forget it happens. Also, I'm fairly certain I pressed the button, but that's my usual excuse. Okay, that's terrifying. Well, someday I'll learn. Alternatively, I'll have, like, you know, 200,000 subscribers, and this will still be happening. That could happen. We're like, well, half of a percentage of the way there. And my behavior has not changed over the past, what, year and a half? I still lose, like, full footage for that going on. This is why I stream so, because this is why, well, people can, tell me I'm being a dumb shit. Again. It's like some kind of weird symbiosis. I provide entertainment, you guys prevent me from fucking up. And apparently I can watch myself stream, which is kind of weird. I should probably fix that. I don't like seeing that happen. Unfortunately, this game is kinda okay. Yeah, I know you guys weren't complaining about the typing. If it's not immediately obvious and you've somehow managed to avoid hearing... Yeah, hello. I don't think I've actually gotten that item in a couple of runs, but, if it's not immediately obvious, I have, like, a really loud keyboard. And I get a lot of flack for it from my Let's Play buddies, to the point where I've become, like, weirdly self-conscious about it. It's, like, kind of like as if I had a massive zit on my face, except for, really, it's just a very nice keyboard that makes ungodly noises. And boy, do I get a lot of shit for it. Alright, well, swim away, but... I don't know. Clackety-clack. Clackety-clack-clack. I actually really like the noise of typing, too. I guess the only problem is, always ends up resulting in me muting my microphone self-consciously, and then rinse repeat. Well, either way, I guess I don't have to brave the saw blade if it's going to be down there. Kind of disappointed the toxic flask does not actually scale damage based on what weapon you have, because it does 2 damage per tick there, no matter what weapon you're using. So it almost seems like it would be way better on stuff like the drill. Well, no, it absolutely is better on the... Nope, I'm not getting that box. I might not even be able to stay around on this level. I'm working on it. I kind of wish my harpoons would, like, pierce the level or something. That would be kind of cool. Either way, and now people are making fun of me for abusing my keyboard like some kind of abusive boyfriend and or husband and or something. Well, you know what? The keyboard's stuck with me and y'all can't do anything about it. It's mine. Haha. Off we go. Sometimes I can, like, put on kind of the faux evil act. Oh, I wanted that box. I'll get it in a second. Let's take these guys out. Let's get the chest before everything blows up, considering. That's a nice item. That is a real nice item. Anything else in here before I start blowing the level to bits? Does not look like it. Alright, well, here we go. Now everybody's getting real... Yep. Real defensive here. Okay. Wow, I'm actually kind of hurt here. Haven't gotten a whole lot of healing items. Come to think of it, I guess I've been standing next to explosions, which is a terrible idea. But, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what. Please tell me. I don't know. How do you avoid explosions? How do I not blow up? How do I not boom? I've been working on this. It doesn't seem to be an answer for me. Also, my damage doesn't scale with level? That's interesting. Either that or shovel damage doesn't. I haven't really been paying attention to the harpoon gun. Very hard to tell. Well, either way. Ooh, Heart of Belial. Perfect. We need those. Speaking of Belial, really should actually go play, some Diablo at some point. I've been meaning to do that for ages. But I guess that's kind of what Torchlight is about. Hello. Gotta say though, harpoon gun, very powerful. Hopefully I can get spread shot along the way just so it gives me a little bit extra oomph. Is there an item that actually makes you attack faster? I don't think so. Not in ranged, actually. Yeah, no, there isn't one. Well, that's actually kind of interesting. It does definitely give the harpoon gun a little bit of an issue. Also, you do a lot of damage. You do all sorts. I just realized by having the stream open, but muted, in the corner of my window, I can actually tell what you guys in the audience are generally watching, which is kind of cool from like a visual standpoint. Or, like, referential. 'Cause this way I know exactly what you guys are responding to. It's like I'm psychic or something. Or said, you know, said the thing maybe, like, 20 seconds prior. Oh, hello. I'm trying not to blow up the level here. However, I get the feeling my missiles are going to do a pretty good job of it fairly shortly. No, well, no big deal. Let's see. Yeah, no. So, well, yep, missiles did exactly what I said missiles would do. But, so, I've mentioned at least a couple of times, I guess I mentioned it more so last Friday, but so, doing a podcast with other Let's Players. And podcast is scheduled to come out sometime at noon tomorrow. Generally, we're going to aim to, like, have stuff come out on Saturdays. But, well, I just got hit in the head by a piece of a chest. Whoops. I don't actually... Oh, thank God for it being a water level here. But so, you know, coming out midday, but, right in the middle of it, I mean, oh, shoot. You know what? No, I'm not going to spoil this stuff. Y'all have to watch for this, but, oh, God, squeaky chairs, keyboards... Like, we didn't have to deal with, loud keyboards at all, but, let's see. Let's keep going. Yeah. But it's very interesting being around, like, other people and just, like, the weird noises that they might have to deal with. So, you know, squeaky chairs, dogs. That's actually something. So I've never owned a dog. I've never had a dog and probably might never have one. Oh, we didn't actually pick up the heart. But so, never having a dog before, it always boggles my mind when, you know, I'm collaborating with a YouTuber and suddenly you can hear dogs in the background. Oh boy, I am actually scooting backwards way too hard. Whoops. Oh, either way. Yeah, no, as far as the Diablo thing goes, I have everything except for the most recent Diablo expansion, Reaper of Souls, and honestly, at some point I'm probably going to get it anyway. I was so burnt out for Diablo 3, I was like, you know what, Reaper of Souls probably isn't going to be that good, and then everybody was like, nope, Reaper of Souls is amazing, and I'm like, oh, shit, now I have to spend money on this too. I was just going to write the series off. Turns out, that's a bad move. Oh, right. Shovel actually digs back. I think I'm outside the radius. Sort of. Wow. Alright, that got interesting. Either way, yeah. But, I don't have to deal with, like, dog barking that much. I'm getting, like, all sorts of scatterbrain tonight. I don't know why, but that's okay. I guess I'm trying to carry on, like, 3 different topics of brain stuff. Well, that didn't even make any sense. I haven't gotten any extra jumps here. That's going to be a problem. We do all sorts of damage, though. Holy crap! Wow, that did a lot. Seriously. Oh, ow, oh, ow, ooh, ooh, ooh. Sweet, he gave me shields. Like when that happens. Also, I can apparently poison boxes. I guess I can poison rock people, so there's got to be some level of consistency here. Okay, we've got one box up here. Just gotta be very wary about the spinny bill. Oh, hello. Well, that was unexpected, and we don't get the box anyway, for all of my effort, but apparently there was a chest hiding in there. Cool. Well, off we go. And let's hope for the best. Alright, let's neep, neep. So what is chat even talking about that? Oh. Ouch. So, apparently, Moonloon bought a bunch of gold for real money in Diablo. That is tough business. I don't know. I never really saw the need for it in Diablo especially. Man, it's nice having super high jumps here. I don't know. I've never really looked into... Well, actually, no. Correction. I used to be sort of a gold seller. I might as well do another one of those Wander Tell Stories things again. I used to be... so, the town I live in is fairly wealthy. You know, fairly, like, rich white middle class slash... really just middle class at this point. There were a fair amount of Asian kids that would do this too. But so I was really, really good at RuneScape. Alright. Not exactly the proudest thing to say, given the time, but like, you know what? Middle school, RuneScape is pretty okay. So I was really good at RuneScape, you know, doing quests, farming for experience, stuff like that. And I had a lot of time on my hands because, I don't know, I liked playing games. So every once in a while, somebody would come up to me in middle school and be like, yo, you know, you're the guy that's really good at RuneScape, right? And it's like, yeah. Well, I've got like 200 bucks. Can you just do all this shit for me in RuneScape? Which amounted to being something like 10 hours worth of play, you know, doing a bunch of the quests or whatever, so people could get like special items or shortcuts or just whatever, loads of experience. So I think I ended up making somewhere along the lines of $600. Ooh, that was closer than I'd like it to be. Time to leave. I made like a significant amount of money just by playing RuneScape for people. And then when I was one of the things that I would do, and none of them ever particularly caught me for this one, is every time I'd like do a quest for them or whatever, I'd sneak some gold off, you know, all the money I made as a result of it. So usually you get like some kind of rare crafting materials, and since they just asked me to do the quest, they didn't tell me about, you know, anything that I made off of it. I just, you know, took a cut in game as well. Who cares? Whatever. So what ended up happening was, at the very end, the guy that I made the most amount of money on, he was kind of the pinnacle of the, like, rich, white, spoiled kid. You know, that kid in middle school, elementary school, whatever, that just you didn't like, but maybe you tolerated because he had all the really good game systems. Oh, well, I guess we sent ourselves flying off into the void. So this guy had paid me a fair amount of money to already do stuff for him. Oh, shoot, I just got C4. Balls. We do not want that. Oh, well. Guess I'll deal with it. I guess it usually ends runs in a fairly convenient manner anyway. Wow, he does not have a body left. But so, in the very end, you know, I'm quitting RuneScape. I have, like, millions of gold, which at the time was significant. I have no idea. I haven't been back on since, apart from once or twice to just look at the state of the game and see if anything's different. The answer is, seems like they're digging the game into a hole. But guy comes up to me and it's like, hey, you know, can I have your account? No. Just flat out no. Well, can I buy your stuff? Now, mind you, I have millions of gold. Okay. I think I made another 600 bucks off of all that gold. A large amount of it I had gained simply by, you know, taking it from... Not like taking it from him. Like, I didn't do theft so much as just like, well, I played the game. I earned this stuff. Oh, sweet. Money shot. I don't know. I felt pretty good about myself as far as being a not Chinese gold seller. Not to have anything against specific Chinese gold sellers. Alright, I don't think I'm getting that chest back. Whew. Well, actually, I have no idea if it's down there or not. Everything's just exploding on me. Getting that C4 was a bad move. Luckily, I've got, what, several Hearts of Belial now? So, it kind of works out for me. But, like, I wasn't exactly embezzling, though. Because embezzling would be like, you know, somebody gives me a bunch of money to hold on to, and I get rid of it. But this was just me playing on somebody else's account, and then taking part of the reward. I don't know. I don't feel particularly bad about it. But, just kind of like as a side note, so this guy... Later on, I've already gone off to college, so I'm like, hey, you know, what's this kid's up to? I know he had, like, a serious MMO addiction and some other issues. Also, I think they made it to the Worms Bleed now, which is kind of freaky. But so I ask, and this is, like, college and, like, college acceptance or college application time for most people in the town I'm in. And they're all like, oh, yeah, you know, he got accepted into Princeton or whatever. I'm like, bullshit. Like, so... I don't think I've told this story. And God, it would be hilarious if it turns out that he actually watches my videos. Okay, did not send myself flying straight into that wheel of pain. Damn it. Alright, just gonna dig down. I've already gotten into the scary section of things. And, whoa, hello. That looks fun. Alright, what else do we... This dark room is just rife with things. And I'm out of jumps. Damn. Gotta say, Harpoon Launcher definitely wrecks shit up, though. Really quite well. Wow, there's just a lot of boxes here. I'd like this. So, I'm kind of like bullshit because, so, I'm gonna back up, do another story on this guy. This kid, my dad is a really nice dude. Like, he does not speak ill of most people. There are people that, like, he absolutely despises, and he will never say a damn thing about it. Well, there goes, like, 90% of the level. So he's like super nice. And so he almost never says anything particularly negative about a person, whether or not they deserve it. Okay. So this guy, this, you know, super rich kid that I'm calling bullshit on going to Princeton. Kid, he was either Princeton or Yale. It was one of the, like, massive Ivy Leaguers. You know, you have to be rich or damn smart to get in, generally. Or politically connected. And this kid's dad was fairly wealthy, so that might have done it. But apart from that, not really sure. But so he was also in my Boy Scout troop. Yes, I'm a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, whatever. So guys in my Boy Scout troop, and we called him the Prince. Specifically, my dad called him the Prince. Mind you, I'm advertising my dad here as a fairly... Wow, there's a lot of explosions going on here. So my dad, who never says anything unkind about anybody, is calling this kid the Prince, and not in a kind way. This is the kid that brought all sorts of knives to Boy Scout camp, which in and of itself is not a particularly negative thing by any means, but the Prince brought hundreds of dollars worth of knives that he had bought maybe the week before just to show off. Now, as far as Boy Scouts go, yes, having a goddamn awesome knife is grounds for showing off. However, being a complete idiot about it does not win you a whole lot of favors amongst the Boy Scouts, so nobody wanted to tolerate him. And now, this kid is a whiny little problem child, you know. Not an only child by any means, but... And honestly, nothing against only children. I've just had generally limited... Well, not bad experiences with only children. I've had plenty of good experiences with only children. It's just more the point that I've noticed only children tend to have trouble sharing. So this kid, like, could not handle sharing. He wanted a tent to himself. Mind you, we had already organized to bring, you know, X amount of tents, X amount of supply. Holy shit. I do all sorts of damage. But we were pretty much organized so everybody would be paired off. Not this kid. Not the Prince. Prince had to have everything to himself. Except for when he needed something of somebody else's. Ooh, hello. And so the Prince would complain if, you know, somebody had food that he didn't have. You know, somebody brought snacks. So he'd complain that people weren't sharing. And it's like, but that's his food. As the Prince chows down on his own... He had a duffel bag full of snacks. It was ridiculous. So the Prince has all this shit and, you know, will not share with anybody, will not share a tent. That said, nobody really wanted to share a tent with him anyway. But, like, he forced somebody to go 3-man into a 2-man tent. That's not really okay when you're camping, especially for a week. But that's what the Prince did. Like, in the very end, the other person was like, you know, I'm still glad I didn't stick with him, but we should have just made him sleep outside. And I didn't really have a whole lot of rebuttal against that one, because the kid really did deserve it. But so, like, this kid just could not deal with social interaction that did not involve him getting his way. So, the other thing is, he absolutely hated camp, because... So, I said he had a duffel bag full of food. He didn't have a whole lot of duffel bags full of clothes. He actually barely brought anything. I don't think he even changed the entire time we were there. And... Mind you, Boy Scout camp is not like camp where you, like, stay in a hotel or anything like that. I don't know who goes to these camps, but apparently the Prince did. Because, well, man, it's kind of hard to get around here. But so, the Prince brought all sorts of games and electronics. He had his Xbox with. He thought we'd be staying in cabins. He thought, and mind you, we tell everybody, we're not staying in cabins, we're out in a tent. Like, who goes to Boy Scout camp to stay in a cabin? I don't know, but the Prince wanted to, so he had an Xbox. And so eventually he figured out there was one singular plug in the dining hall that he could use. Until the camp specifically told him he could not use it anymore. Because it was distracting people from, like, actual scouting. Because the dining hall... the other thing I didn't mention about camp is, every time I went to that specific camp, it would rain for days. Like, torrential, actually dangerous rain. So we'd have to spend a lot of time in the dining hall or, you know, various tents and stuff just to get anything done. So, Prince would be in one corner of the dining hall playing Xbox. No internet, he was very sore about that one. But, so he would be in there playing Xbox. He only brought one controller because, oh, the Prince does not play with anybody else. He is too elite and does not want to, does not want to compete with anybody. And so, the thing is, he would just leave his Xbox there. And I think this is the main contribution for why he couldn't leave it there anymore. Because... wow, we're in a super dangerous location. So, he would just leave it there. And this is why they wouldn't let him have it anymore. Because, well... God, all it will take is one freakish C4 explosion to take me out here. I'm healing fast, but generally in trouble. Okay. So he just left it there. So one day he came back, and like I think this is the event why they forced him to, you know, not bring it out anymore, or have it in the dining hall, is he comes back in the morning and people are playing Xbox, and he just starts screeching at them. Now, at this point, I'm the senior patrol leader, and if you don't know Boy Scout camp, that's effectively the singular scout in charge of all the other scouts from a troop. And so I had, like, responsibility and stuff that is annoying. Not a really... oh, god damn it, interception. Football! Did not actually really watch the Super Bowl. But, so dude is screeching at the top of his lungs at people for using his Xbox. I think he had, like, Halo and some other things. I think this is just after Halo 2 came out. Could be wrong about that one. So, kid's screeching, and eventually they force him so he can't use the Xbox anymore. At which point he gets super sullen. And then he starts putting on the, like, I'm sick act. You know, come take care of me. Oh. So, just to recap, the prince is, kid I know, spent a fair amount of money paying me to play, RuneScape for him, goes to Boy Scout camp and is an absolute turd. I realize some people may or may not have tuned into all, I don't know, friggin' whatever. But so, kid can't play his Xbox anymore. Alright, I mean... truly should not be that unreasonable to not play your Xbox at Boy Scout camp. But it was for the prince. So he starts playing the, like, I'm sick card. Now, mind you, it's torrentially raining out. And so that means it's cold, it's wet, nobody wants to go outside, which kind of sucks from Boy Scout camp perspective because it meant I couldn't do my shotgun merit badge. I really wanted to learn how to fire a shotgun. But so... at, oh god, what was it, like 2 in the morning? My dad gets a call. Now, you're not supposed to have your phone on, but if you're a leader, you have to, just in case, you know, something happens, an emergency, you know, scout gets lost or whatever. And generally, it's, you know, you only get calls from people like an organizer in the camp. We get a call from the prince's dad saying that the prince is sick. Mind you, prince is like 2 tents over. I have not heard a thing apart from bitching. And the parents had been there like a couple hours prior to visit him for his early birthday. His birthday wasn't for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they brought him a cake and stuff at camp. It was ridiculous. And of course, he didn't share the cake either, but I didn't really want it. I wanted it a little. We didn't really have desserts in Boy Scout camp. At least not the one I went to. It sounds bad, but it really wasn't. But so, Prince is sick, needs to go to the medical center. My dad can't leave because the other leader had to go home. Because the other leader actually had like a legitimate emergency back home. I think his daughter was in a car accident. I forget. This has been a long time ago, but essentially my dad was the only adult left. So my dad could not actually leave camp while the other scouts were sleeping, because the Boy Scouts are like super paranoid against... oh god, I'm not going to be able to get to this chest, am I? Much less the missile. God, these guys explode! Oh, hello! But so, long story short, just in case I die here, I have to go carry the prince. Literally carry. Now, mind you, this kid's twice as big as me. I have to carry him. Maybe a mile and a half to the med center. And, like, yes, he was walking. Yep, I did die. But, so I actually had to... oh yeah, he had an absolutely awful voice. This kid was... he was Cartman. To a very large degree. And... I mean large. But so this kid is massive, and I have to cart him to the med center. And the entire way, he's not sick. He's obviously... I'm just carrying him. You know, kind of the, like, hoisting him over my shoulders. And mind you, he's like a foot shorter than me. This is not... He's gifted in one direction, and it's not vertically. That's all I can say as far as, like, physical goes. And, like I said, he hasn't washed, so... I was sicker than he was by the very end of it. He was not sick. So we get there, and the nurse, who has to sleep in the medical center and has to be woken up. We wake her up. You're not sick, Prince. You're totally okay. You're not running a fever. Anything like that. Prince wasn't having anything of it. I have to carry the prince back. Prince then goes back to his tent, coughs, sneezes, essentially just continues to, you know, really amp up the sick behavior. Nobody's having any of it. Next day we get up. It's finally stopped raining. My dad and myself, not being particularly interested, wake him up, be, you know, interested in his whole sick routine, wake him up, and, essentially just more or less give him a rough time for not actually being sick. Because he was not sick. He absolutely was not. It was like the fake dry cough that you do, and only when you know nobody is around. And so eventually his parents roll in. Mind you, it's a 7-hour drive to camp. They roll in that night and take him away. One day before camp ended. That is the story of the prince. He did not go to Princeton. I don't think he went to college. I made like $500 from him specifically, and then a bunch more from other people in town, just by playing RuneScape. I've met some interesting people. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next episode of Cavern Kings, and as always, thanks for watching.